The heirloom that split a family and pieced it back together. This white gold necklace was a keepsake from my grandmother, carrying countless stories. In 1943, she worked as an ammunition assembler in an arms factory, toiling over a dozen hours a day amid deafening roars. Her fingers were calloused from handling metal, all to save money for a pocket watch for my grandfather serving on the front lines. When the war ended in 1945 and grandfather returned safely, they used their combined savings to buy this Art Deco-style necklace from a jewelry store on New York's Fifth Avenue, 3 diamonds totaling 0.75 carats set in a geometric pattern setting, with rounded edges polished to a warm luster, a unique elegance of that era. Grandmother said it witnessed separation and reunion, embodying silent perseverance. I'd worn it for 10 years, the cool touch against my collarbone brought more comfort than any fancy outfit, as if grandmother's gaze was always guarding me. But my sister-in-law Julia insisted on shattering that piece. Still wearing this outdated thing. At every family gathering, her voice would cut through the laughter, a fake smile plastered on her face. Claire, you're a financial consultant now, why not get a Van Cleef or Pels or Cartier? So much more prestigious. I never defended myself, she had no idea I'd overseen multi-million-dollar projects with my expertise, and my bank balance could buy over a dozen luxury necklaces. I simply cherished grandmother's lesson, humility makes true value shine. Mom's 60th birthday dinner was at my brother Mark's house. Julia had transformed the place into a page from a home decor magazine, a crystal chandelier casting harsh glares, gilded tablecloths covering the dining table, custom name cards beside each plate, and even napkins folded into swans. Her 3 children sat in a row, 15-year-old Lily slouched with her legs crossed, her phone screen glowing brightly as her fingers swiped furiously, punctuated by sneers. As soon as I walked in, Julia greeted me with a perfumed air kiss, her eyes scanning my necklace like a detector. A sneer curled her lips, "Darling, you're so sentimental, still carrying this flea market junk. I saw a knockoff at the mall last week for $200 and the quality's better." Mom says it's fake, Lily suddenly piped up, not even lifting her eyes from her phone. Her tone dripped with contempt, sharp as an icicle. "Aunt Claire, you're an accountant, do you not make enough to buy a real necklace? That's why you always dress so shabbily, like our nanny." "Lily." Mark scolded weakly, his voice soft as cotton, his eyes darting nervously to Julia. Julia quickly laughed it off, "Kids say the darndest things, don't take it to heart. Some people are just practical, not into flashy clothes." She abruptly raised her voice, ensuring everyone heard, "But our Lily's different, she just got accepted into the Juilliard School of Dance. It's one of the top-performing arts schools in America, thousands would kill for a spot." She pulled out copies of the acceptance letter, passing them around and pointing at the tuition figure, $50,000 a year, $150,000 for 3 years. "People say it's too expensive, but we'd sell everything for our daughter's dream, right, Mark?" Mark nodded frantically, "Absolutely, Lily's talented, we'll do whatever it takes." Julia turned to Mom, pride oozing from her voice, "Mom, you have no idea, all the kids there are from wealthy, influential families. When Lily becomes a dancer, you'll be watching her perform at Carnegie Hall." Mom smiled warmly, her eyes filled with joy. I stared at my plate, my fingers brushing the necklace's clasp. No one knew the highly competitive academic merit scholarship Lily boasted about was my anonymous donation. 3 years earlier, I'd met the school's admissions director at a charity gala. Learning Lily had real dance talent, but her family struggled to cover tuition, with a mortgage and 3 kids to raise, I'd secretly set up a $50,000 annual scholarship, paid quarterly to the school, on the condition it be labeled an academic award. I just wanted her to chase her dream without worry, never expecting this kindness to be met with such blatant disdain. After dinner, overwhelmed by the noise, I escaped to the window to breathe. Lily suddenly appeared with a glass of juice, glaring at my necklace with pure disdain. "What's so great about this stupid necklace? You look like a beggar wearing it, so embarrassing for our family." "It's my grandmother's heirloom, it means a lot to me," I said calmly. "So what if it's an heirloom? Only poor people treasure junk." She reached out and yanked the necklace. I tried to stop her, but she flew into a rage, grabbing it with both hands and pulling hard. There was a sharp snap, and the clasp broke. The necklace fell into her palm. Oops, it broke, she giggled maliciously, tossing it on the floor and grinding it lightly with her shoe. Figures, fake stuff's always flimsy. Her two brothers crowded around, laughing. Fake. Fake. Breaks so easily. Julia rushed over and instead of scolding Lily, she smiled. Claire, out with the old, in with the new, time for something nicer. This cheap thing isn't worth crying over. Mark echoed, yeah, it's worthless, don't bother getting upset. I bent down to pick up the necklace, the cold metal digging into my palm, the diamond edges feeling sharp as if they'd been dulled. Mom sat on the sofa, her brows furrowed, wanting to speak but holding back. She sensed the tension, but not the whole story. In that moment, watching Julia and Lily's unapologetic smirks, Mark's cowardly silence, something inside me turned to ice. As I left, Julia patted my shoulder with feigned sympathy. Don't dwell on it, it's just jewelry. Memories are what matter. You're right, I said, looking straight into her eyes. Memories do matter. Back home, I made a cup of strong tea to calm my anger, then opened my laptop to write 2 emails. The first was to the admissions director, terminating Lily's scholarship and canceling the 3-year funding commitment. The second was to Mark and Julia, informing them the scholarship was revoked, tuition was due in 30 days, or Lily's acceptance would be rescinded. I hit send without hesitation. 20 minutes later, Mark's call exploded in my ear. Claire. The school just called, you canceled the scholarship. We can't pay $150,000. Julia's car loan, the pool renovation, my boat payments, we budgeted everything around that scholarship. Where are we supposed to get the money? It's not about the money, I said calmly. It's about how you raised Lily to disrespect others, and how you let Julia mock me without a word. That necklace, my grandmother bought it in 1945 with money she earned working in an arms factory. It's worth $18,000, an heirloom passed down for 80 years. It witnessed perseverance and reunion during the war, it's irreplaceable to me. But Lily broke it, laughed at it, ground it under her shoe, and none of you stopped her. You laughed along. There was a long silence. Suddenly, Julia snatched the phone, screaming, "You're crazy. Ruining Lily's future over a stupid necklace. She's only 15. We'll apologize, we'll buy you a new one." Apologize? I scoffed. You can't even afford an $18,000 necklace, how can you make amends? You spent my money on new cars, pools, and boats while mocking my simplicity. I helped you for 3 years, asking for nothing in return, and this is how you repay me, with contempt and humiliation. This isn't revenge, it's taking back my kindness. I won't fund someone who doesn't know how to respect others. She's just a kid. She doesn't know better. Mark shouted in the background. A 15-year-old knows right from wrong. She dared to do this because you never taught her to value other people's things, never taught her to respect her elders. I hung up the phone. My phone flooded with messages, Mark begging for forgiveness with cries of blood is thicker than water, Julia accusing me of jealousy and promising karma, and Lily sending a half-hearted apology. And Claire, I'm sorry. I didn't know the necklace was expensive. Please give me back the scholarship, I'll never do it again. I only replied to Lily, you're not sorry because you realize you were wrong. You're sorry because you're scared of losing your scholarship. What you should apologize for isn't breaking an expensive necklace, it's trampling on someone's cherished memories and hurting their feelings. That's what truly matters. The next day, Mom called, her voice heavy with sadness. Mark told me everything. You funded Lily anonymously for 3 years, and they treated you like this. You're too kind, and they took advantage of that. Can the necklace be fixed? It can be repaired, but it won't be the same, I said softly. Some wounds heal, but they leave scars. I took the necklace to an elderly jeweler Mom knew, who'd been in the business for 40 years. When he saw it, his hands trembled slightly. This is a genuine Art Deco masterpiece, exquisite craftsmanship, perfectly preserved, such a shame about the clasp. He examined it with a magnifying glass. The clasp is original, with the craftsman's mark. I'll do my best to replicate it, but the new one will have a faint mark, you'll notice it. He charged me $1,200, sighing as he handed it back. Something this meaningful deserves to be cherished. Don't let careless kids near it again. In the days that followed, Mark sent countless messages, even pleading, Mom's getting older, she doesn't want to see the family torn apart. I only replied, respect is the foundation of family. Without it, there's no real bond. By the tuition deadline that Friday, Mark called again, his voice hoarse as if he'd been crying. The school revoked Lily's acceptance. 3 years of training down the drain. Are you happy now? Did you win? I'm not happy, I said sincerely. I'm sad that it took losing everything for you to realize your mistakes. I don't want to win, I want you to wake up. Julia needs to admit her words hurt. You need to understand that silence is complicity. Lily needs to learn that cruelty has consequences. Only when you truly recognize your wrongs can you become better people. He hung up, and I heard nothing for a week. On the 7th day, Julia sent a text with a letter from Lily and a voice memo. Claire, I'm so sorry. I was so vain, thinking fancy clothes and a lavish lifestyle made me better. That's why I mocked you for being simple, and spoke badly about you in front of the kids. I know my words hurt, and I'm truly sorry. Lily's sorry too. She wrote this letter alone, without letting me read it. She's been so guilty these past few days, she can barely eat. I opened the letter. It was several pages of childish handwriting, written carefully, stroke by stroke. Dear Aunt Claire. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have broken your necklace, not because it's expensive, but because it meant so much to you, because it was Grandma's. I was cruel to tear it apart and grind it under my shoe, and I'm so regretful. Mom said you were poor and the necklace was fake, and I believed her. I laughed at you, and now I realize how stupid I was. You secretly funded my education for 3 years, and I treated you so badly, I'm ashamed. I cried for days when I lost my spot at the school, but I know I deserved it. I'm going to a community dance studio near our house. My teacher says I have talent, and if I work hard, I can still succeed. I practice for hours every day now, and I don't play on my phone or mock people anymore. I know I was terrible before, but I'm trying to change. Thank you for helping me all those years. Please give me a chance to make it right. Love. Lily. At the end, she drew a tiny ballerina with the words, I'll keep trying, next to it. Tears pricked my eyes. Julia sent another text, Claire, Mark and I talked. We're selling the boat, we can afford a year of tuition at the community studio. Maybe Lily can reapply to Juilliard later. We want to buy you dinner and apologize in person. I replied, I accept your apology. Lily's letter is sincere, and I believe she's truly trying to change. You don't need to sell the boat. I'll contact Juilliard and ask about an audit student program. She won't have to pay full tuition, just basic class fees. She can take 2 professional classes a week there and practice at the community studio the rest of the time. This isn't because I've forgiven your past actions, I added. It's because Lily has real talent, and I don't want her dream to end because of one mistake. But this time, she needs to know that everything she gets is earned through her own hard work, not handed to her for free. Julia replied immediately, thank you. Thank you so much. We'll teach Lily to be grateful and respectful, we promise. Lily texted too, Aunt Claire, thank you. I'll practice so hard, I'll never be that terrible person again. I contacted Juilliard's admissions director, explained the situation, and they agreed to let Lily audit with a 50% discount on fees. Lily threw herself into her training, waking up at 6 a.m. to go to the studio, practicing until 10 p.m. and volunteering at a nursing home on weekends, cleaning and performing simple dances for the residents. When I picked up the repaired necklace, the new clasp was exquisite, but there was a faint weld mark, a gentle reminder of what had happened. I put it on, tucking it under my shirt, where only I could feel it. 3 months later, Lily won first place in a community dance competition. Mark and Julia invited me to watch. When Julia saw me, her usual arrogance was gone, only genuine remorse. Claire, I was so narrow-minded before. I'll never judge people like that again. On stage, Lily wore a simple leotard, no fancy costumes, but she shone brightly. She danced to a piece called Perseverance, her movements fluid and powerful, her eyes determined and bright. At the end, she looked directly at me in the audience and bowed deeply, a pure, sincere smile on her face. After the competition, she ran over and handed me a small jewelry box. "Aunt Claire, I bought this with my prize money. It's not expensive, but I hope it can make up for what I did." Inside was a tiny silver clasp engraved with 2 characters, "Cherish." "I know I was awful," she said, her voice trembling as she stared at the ground. "But I'm going to keep changing, becoming someone who values others and respects them. When I dance on a big stage someday, you'll be the first person I invite." I gently patted her head. "I believe you, Lily." On the way home, the evening breeze was warm. The necklace rested against my skin, the new clasp feeling slightly unfamiliar, but no longer cold, instead, it radiated warmth. I knew some scars would never fully fade, but with willingness to mend, even broken things could be made new, continuing to warm the years ahead. 6 months later, Lily re-auditioned for Juilliard and was accepted as a full-time student, this time, earning a full scholarship through her own talent and hard work. She texted me, "Aunt Claire, I did it. From now on, our family will be united, no more prejudice, just pride." On Mom's 61st birthday, we gathered again. Julia didn't decorate the house like a magazine spread, just cooked simple home-cooked meals. There were no gilded tablecloths, only warm laughter around the table. Lily wore the plain dress I'd given her. When she saw the necklace around my neck, she said softly, "Aunt Claire, that necklace is so beautiful, more precious than any luxury jewelry." I smiled, pulling the necklace out from under my shirt and brushing my finger over the faint mark. "It's not just a piece of jewelry. It's a witness to our family, witness to our mistakes, our growth, and the truth that real family love has nothing to do with money. It's all about respect and cherishing one another." Mom nodded with a smile. Mark and Julia exchanged a look of relief. In that moment, the crystal chandelier's light no longer felt harsh, it was replaced by warm, peaceful glow filling the room. I knew that this once broken heirloom had finally healed all the rifts in our family, binding our hearts together once more.